So I was playing Skyrim the other day, you know the game, right? And during an impromptu fishing stream together with chat, we came up with a fun idea for a challenge, and that is play Skyrim Survival. But I'm only allowed to loot by fishing. As you probably know, besides, well, fish, you can get all sorts of junk, but also weapons and armor. I've never played Skyrim Survival before, so I think this is a very bad idea. Let's do it! I'm going to be playing on Adept difficulty as I have no idea what I'm going into. Also, thanks to the Live Another Life mod, we can skip Helgen and start wherever we want. I think it might be a good idea to begin as a patron in the Bannered Mare in Whiterun, cause in survival we can't fast travel and there is one fishing spot very close to the city. As you can see, I'm not playing complete vanilla. I have some graphics overhaul mods installed as well as the Sky UI, which I think is a nice quality of life change, but nothing too crazy. We won't be having any companions, sorry, Sophie, and as mentioned before, I'm not allowed to loot anything besides picking up the fishing rod itself, and I can only get money to buy stuff by selling the things I fish out of the water. At first I wanted to do the challenge where I wouldn't even buy any food, but that seemed maybe a little too extreme. We'll see how this goes. So there we are, fresh level 1 at this nice fishing spot. We'll be throwing everything out into the water as well as the money that we have. Beautiful. Now, let's equip that fishing rod and may our extreme fisherman journey begin. I'm quite happy that we got this nice weather for the beginning. Partially because it is nice to look at and also I don't need to worry too much about getting cold. I tried not to search how exactly the fishing loot tables work, but from my experience it seems that after a couple of hours the fish completely disappear from the spot and you need to wait maybe like a day for them to respawn. In the meantime, you are only getting other items and junk, which is fine for us though, as we need to gather some armor and weapons and also get as valuable things as possible to trade in for anything we might need in the future. Okay, I think this is the best catch I can possibly get. Ring of Minor Destruction for 500? Okay. It will most likely be less than that depending on the merchant, but still. We started early in the morning and in just a couple of hours we managed to get over encumbered. Well, I guess we need to get rid of those tankards and other junk that won't probably sell for any money anyway. Also, my stamina and magicka won't regenerate fully when I'm not well fed and rested. It's about 2:30 PM, so we will head back to the city and try to sell everything we can and in return use the money to rent a room for the night as well as cook some hot meals. I have some raw fish that I can cook, but for that I need salt, which I know can be looted from almost anywhere, but we said no looting, so I will just have to buy it every time. I thought it would be okay, but it turns out that the most innkeepers always have just like one piece of salt for each day, so that's kinda sad. No matter though, we will not give up. We sell a couple weapons to Adrienne and we acquire 55 septims. Okay, let's buy 1 salt for 6 and cook ourselves a nice spadefish meal. Good. It restores 220 hunger, which I have no idea how much that is, but all the meals seem to restore the same, so can't go wrong there. As I have only 1 meal, I want to rent a room and go to sleep first to see how much I'm gonna lose and then eat, because you know we are very smart about this. We're gonna wake up at 6 AM just to see that we are both starving and weary. Beautiful. The cooked spadefish restores about 25% of my stamina, so that wasn't really worth it at all. I'm beginning to think that this is not gonna be that easy, mostly because of the lack of salt that we can purchase. Even though I just slept, I'm guessing that the hunger did not really help and my vision starts to be blurry, just like in real life before I have my first sip of coffee. After cooking and consuming another pogfish meal, I have about 75% of my stamina restored, and the game tells me that I feel better but still hungry, which is pretty much the story of my life. We have no choice but to sell the ring to Belethor for 164 septims and buy some hide armor at least and hope it will help against the cold weather. Also, since I have some money now, I decide to go to Riften as I know there is the main fishing hub where I can get quests that would probably earn me a bit more money than what I did until now. As it turns out though, I need to pay the tax to these guards, which I completely forgot about, and since I am still level 1, Persuade and Intimidate both have little to no effect. I want to offer them 75 gold, which is nearly not enough, and in frustration I attack them, which doesn't end well for me, so I sadly return back to carriage driver. 40 septims well spent. As we spend a lot of time on the road without proper sleep, I'm now very tired and also starving. Good. I have 1 more pinch of salt from earlier, so I get another meal which helps a little bit, and I rent a room at the inn yet again. I begin to realize that this way I won't get very far and I will need to spend the money I get from selling equipment for some cooked meals rather than armor. So I proceed to do some fishing while my vision is still kinda blurry, but what can you do? I also decided to walk towards Riverwood, hoping that I would find better merchants there. Don't ask me why I think that, I'm just a little desperate by now. Luckily, there seems to be another fishing spot, which is much closer than the one in Whiterun, so I just think I will stay here for a bit. I managed to get some money by selling weapons I have acquired, and because I still cannot find more than 1 salt per merchant in here, I'm forced to buy some cooked meals instead. We become well fed and I just sell a couple of mud crabs to get just enough money for a night at the inn. We wake up at 5 AM well rested, which by the way is something that would never happen to me in real life, and as there is still no salt to buy, we continue fishing as the sun rises in the distance. I think we did well considering all things. I also managed to catch this weird looking fish that started talking when I looked at her. I don't remember the exact things it said, but it was something along the lines of please subscribe to Hoverlord or a stranger will come to your house and smack you with a raw fish across the face when you're sleeping. Weird thing, but it's Bethesda, so nothing surprises me anymore. Well anyway, this was all from me for today. Thank you all for watching and I hope to see you again in the future. Have a good one.